Okay, and we're back. I am so sorry about that. I am having network issues today, so we're going to do the best we can. And if this doesn't work out this time, then what I'll do is record a video for you all and send it out later. But let's come back to the seat one more time. Again, letting everything be nice and heavy. And perhaps you notice where there's stillness in the body. Are there places in the body that feel busier than others? I feel like there's more activity, more sensation, maybe more energy than other places. And as you're noticing all these things, no need to analyze or judge or make sense of, just collecting information. That's all. Noticing the inhales and the exhales. And trying your best not to change them, but just let them be. Just watch them with curiosity. And you might even notice there's sometimes a space between the inhales and the exhales, or a space between the exhale and the inhale. And see if you can notice that space. Is there a little bit of stillness there? And then bring the awareness perhaps to the mind. Can you observe the thoughts? Watch them go by like clouds in the sky, right? It's hard. I think a lot of times when we think about sitting or meditating, we think that we're supposed to stop the thoughts, and I have never been able to do that. I don't know of many folks who have been able to stop the thoughts. I don't think that's the goal. But can we watch them and watch them without judgment, without assigning a story to them? So take a couple breaths. We'll spend about 10 breaths just watching the thoughts. You might use the breath as an anchor to keep you grounded. And if you get distracted or go down a storyline, no worries. Just as soon as you notice that, come back to being the observer and come back to the breath. All right, let's come down onto our backs. So, remove anything you've been sitting on. You can plant the feet and bend the knees. Let's just stay here for a couple moments. You might push on the femur bone to create a little bit of length in the spine. Sometimes we'll start class here because it's a pose that lets you relax the psoas muscle, that big hip flexor that brings the femur bone towards the torso. Connects right around the rib cage and a little lower. And this muscle is what we use when we're stressed or in fight or flight. And again, we use it to bring the leg closer to the torso. So it's working a lot all day long. And this is one of the poses that lets it relax, lets it melt a little bit. So you might even, as you inhale, send the breath towards the hip area. If you like to work with color, you might assign a golden color to the breath as it comes in, travels down the body, inviting a sense of ease everywhere it goes. Be creating a little bit of space with the inhales and a little bit of release with the exhale. Great. You can bring the arms out to the they're in a cactus position. On an exhale, keep the feet where they are. Bring the knees over to the right. Option for gaze to go left. Then as you inhale, bring the knees back to center and follow the exhale over to the left. Again, gaze can go right here. Next inhale brings the knees back to center, and you'll follow the exhale over to the other side. Keep going, follow your own breath, nice and slow, and really see if you can let the breath tell the legs when to move rather than the legs telling the breath when to happen. And also check in and see if the feet stay planted, if they stay where they are. We're really trying to create a little bit of grounding in our practice today since things are kind of flying everywhere. And keeping the feet grounded can help with that sometimes. We'll take just a couple more on each side. Next time we bring the knees to center, let's pause there. And this time when we go, we'll bring the knees back over to the right and extend the left arm long if you can. And then we'll hold. So knees are right, gaze is left, if that's comfortable for the neck. And if it's comfortable on the arm and shoulder, the left arm is lifted, still resting on the ground, but overhead. And as you breathe here, see if you can bring some length or a sense of spaciousness and opening to the left side body. And really using the breath to make that happen. And we'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale brings the knees back to center. Draw the left arm down to cactus. And take an exhale to bring the knees over to the left. This time, raising the right hand, right arm extends. Gaze can be right. And again, using the breath to create some spaciousness on the right side of the body. Letting that space be nice and long between the right hip and the right shoulder. And while you're here, notice what there is to notice. So, what kind of sensation is going on? Again, no need to fix or change anything. Just notice. Nice and curious. And inhale the knees back if that's more comfortable. And if it's comfortable, go ahead and rock from side to side, and letting the ground massage the back a little bit. And you might even make this a little bit bigger. So you might roll almost the entire length of the back body, almost rolling all the way over to each side. Again, staying with the sensations and perhaps noticing the quality of breath. The breath is long or short. A lot of time, the breath is a good indicator of what's going on in the nervous system. And that can be good information. Next time you come to center, pause, cross one ankle over the other, doesn't matter which, and circle the knees in the same direction. So the knees are going in the same direction, and you're massaging the low back right around the sacrum into the mat. And the circles can be as big or as little as you'd like. Just nice and easy, nice and gentle. Letting the pelvis be heavy. And as you're ready, go ahead, reverse direction. Just massaging the sacrum, massaging the low back. And then come to center, uncross the ankles and rotate the knees in opposite directions. So you're making circles in the hip joint. Knees are going in opposite directions and then they come close to each other. And we like to circle the joints to bring a little fluid into them and encourage a little bit more flow, a little bit more energy flow. And then reverse direction. Noticing any sensation. All right. You can let go of that effort and hold on behind the thighs. Bend and straighten the knees a couple times. And release that. Kind of straighten the knees and circle the ankles. Might be a little popping here, and that's okay. And perhaps you notice what way you started circling the ankles just intuitively. Reverse direction. All right. Let's cross one ankle over the other. Hug the knees in towards the chest and begin rock and rolling the spine. Doing another little massage down the spine. And eventually we'll come to a comfortable seat and start circling the wrists once you get there. Take your time. And reverse the direction. All right. Bring the hands to the shoulders and start drawing Nice big circles with the elbows getting into the shoulder joint here. And the shoulder joint can be a little finicky sometimes, so be gentle. No extra points for going big. And let's reverse. All right. Then bring the arms out to a T and then draw the right ear towards the right shoulder. And you might turn the left wrist so that the shoulder is rotating. And then you might nod the head yes or no, just encouraging those muscles along the neck, along the jaw to release a bit. And if it becomes too much, you can release the arms or just come out of it early. No problem. And then draw the left ear over to the left shoulder and do the same thing on the other side. It's almost like you're screwing in a light bulb with the right hand. And then you can move the head around, nodding yes or shaking the head no. All right, then let's let go of that effort. Bring the hands to the knees, and on an inhale, you'll lift the chin and chest and stick the tailbone out. So it's like you're doing cat and cow. As you exhale, you'll tuck the tailbone in and bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale into the cow pose, lifting the chest and chin. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, rounding the back. Follow at your own pace. Yeah, using the breath to decide when the body moves. And especially when you come into this cow pose, this back bendy pose, see if you can think a little more about lengthening from the pelvis to the chin rather than having the biggest back bend in the world. We're looking for a lot of opening along the front body. All right, take a couple more. And then, as you're ready, we'll meet in a neutral spine. Once you're here, let's inhale, lift the arms up, grow tall from the pelvis to the crown of the head. Exhale, bring the left arm by your side and take a side bend over to the left. So the right arm is going overhead. Check in and see that the right sit bone is grounded. And you might think about rotating the spine just a little bit so that the chest is opening towards the ceiling a bit. Make sure you've still got length from the tailbone to the crown of the head, that you're not collapsing. Yeah. Again, it's not so much about the biggest bend, but more so, are we opening from all the way from the pinky to the hip, to the sit bone? And be here a couple more breaths. Again, using the breath to bring some softness to the right side body. Great. And as you inhale, let's come back to center. Lengthen the spine, lift the left arm. And exhale, right arm down so the left arm comes overhead. Root down through the left sit bone. And come back to the breath. Again, option to twist the chest a little bit towards the ceiling, just ever so slightly. And as you're breathing here, noticing the opening and the softening with the exhale, maybe you come back to that idea of stillness. Where is there stillness in the body? Where is there stillness in this pose? In the breath. On an inhale, we'll come back to center and exhale, hands by your side. I'll do a couple twists. So, again, inhale, lengthen the spine. Bring the left hand behind the left sit bone, right hand to left knee, and then on an exhale, gentle twist. Gaze might be over the left shoulder. And if it feels like it's too much, if there's any pinching or any pain, just come out of it a little bit. Just inviting the body to move ever so slightly. Just an invitation. No forcing, no suffering. Now, on an inhale, come back to center, unwind. Take a breath here to reset. And then as you inhale next, invite some length through the spine. Right hand comes behind you, and the left hand comes to the right knee. And exhale, come into the twist. Again, the right gaze, or the gaze might be over the right shoulder. And you might notice with each inhale, you might come out of the twist a little bit. And with each exhale, maybe there's a little bit more space. But again, not trying to force anything, just inviting the body into the shape. Letting the legs and the pelvis be heavy, like the anchor, as you go tall through the spine. And in fact, you might bring the awareness to the sit bone and the legs and the feet, the bottom half of the body. Noticing the base. What are the sensations there? Where is their movement? Where is their stillness?
7 p.m.
And on an inhale, we'll unwind. And now we'll bring the ribs forward and then to the right, and then bring the ribs around back to the left and forward again, keeping the sit bones planted as best you can. It's like you're stirring a big pot of stew. Just inviting some more movement, some more opening into the spine. Paying attention to the breath. And paying attention to the sensations. Next time you come forward, let's reverse that direction. No rush. Yeah, so the chest comes forward, ribs go left, to the back, to the right, and front. And be mindful of the low back here. Again, it doesn't have to be the biggest rotation ever. All right, next time you come forward, let's release that. And let's come into a downward facing dog. You might come through hands and knees. Bring the hands beneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, and push back so the hips rise. And you can make it dynamic, so pedaling the feet, opening up the backs of the legs. And then let's find a little bit of stillness. So the spine is long, the hips are lifting, and the head and neck are heavy. You can let them hang here. And take a moment to come back to the breath. Can you notice that first moment of the exhale and the last? And what's the space like between the exhale and the inhale? And an exhale, let's walk the hands back to meet the feet. Nice and slow. Go ahead and bend the knees however much. And let the chest hang. So bend the knees a lot so that the chest can rest on the knees, on the thighs. And you might sway from side to side. Again, just like in down dog, the head and neck are heavy. Go ahead and release them. And as you sway, if you're doing that, even if you're not, can you notice the weight in the feet? How is the weight distributed, or how is the weight shifting between the feet? And then let's come to stillness, and can you bring the weight to rest evenly between all four corners of both of those feet? Lift through the arches. On an inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine, long from the tail to the crown. Exhale, fold, soften the knees. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the head, lift the chest, and hands come to heart center. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, soft knees. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Again, soft knees. And take a second here, couple breaths. This is a half sun salutation that we're doing. And we'll do a couple more. If at any point it becomes a little too much, just take a moment to rest. So on an inhale, we'll lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the chest and head. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. And again, inhale, lift. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, push through the feet, lift the arms. Exhale, hands come down. We'll do 3 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, push through the feet. Come up. Exhale, hands come down. And again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And go ahead and rock side to side, ragdoll. Soft knees. Heavy head, heavy neck. All right, let's come to standing and go ahead and take a big step out. So it's like you've got one of your legs between your feet. And we're going to turn the feet out at about a 45-degree angle, bend the knees, and sit down. So encourage the knees to track outward. They're going to want to collapse in. We don't want that. We want the knees to come out so that they're tracking over the feet. You can bring the hands to heart center. And let's check in with the breath. Let the breath be long and steady. And if that's hard, then just come out of it a little bit. But wherever you are, let the feet press down nice and heavy. And notice how heavy the pelvis is. Notice the sensation in the legs. Notice how the legs support you, how the glutes, the hips support you. We'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Push through the feet, lengthen. Bring the feet to about parallel with each other, maybe a little bit, maybe the toes point in a little bit more. And bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the chin. Exhale, fold. You can bring the hands down to the ground. And again, let the head and the neck be heavy. And notice how the weight is distributed between the feet. And are we dumping it into the toes or the heels a little bit more? Can we even out that distribution between the two? While you're here, can you isometrically, so that means not moving, but like magnetize the space between the feet? So if you could draw the feet together, they'd be coming together, but you can't because you won't. And then inhale, let's lengthen the spine. Walk the hands out. Bend the knees however much here so that you can bring the hands to the ground. Or you might bring a pillow or a book, something to give you a little levity there. Bring the left hand below your face, and on an inhale, lift through the right arm. So we're making a twist here. And my left knee is bent a lot to make this happen. And let the breath be full, creating some space around the ribs. And your gaze can be wherever is comfortable. So maybe you're looking up at your right hand, maybe you're looking down at your left, or somewhere in between. And where is there stillness here? And then exhale, bring the right hand to meet the left. It's going to replace its spot on the ground. And then extend through the left arm. Again, I'm bending into my right knee a lot here. Make sure that there's no pinching in the back. And if there is, come out of it. Ease up. Again, letting the breath be full, creating some space along the ribs. Breathing all the way up to the collarbones. And noticing the spaces of stillness. Where is the body still? When is the breath still? Just like the breath keeps going, so does the mind. But perhaps just like we have those little spaces between the breaths that we can notice, maybe we can start to notice the spaces between the thoughts. And bring the left hand down to meet the right. Fold again. Bring the hands to the hips and take a big exhale and come all the way up. Brilliant. You can walk the feet together. We're going to come down onto the back again. So find your way there. Plant the feet. Knees are bent. Bring the arms down by your side. And on an inhale, push through the feet, lift the hips. And then we'll hold here. Might walk the shoulders in towards each other a little bit. Perhaps you grab hold of the hands together, creating a little bit of space right around the heart. And bringing the chest towards the chin, but the chin is going away from the chest so that we can keep that curve in the neck. And check in with the feet. Push down through the feet, especially the big toe, to help the thighs spin in towards each other instead of splaying out. And as you're ready, bring the arms overhead, lift the heels, and come down nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. You can knock the knees in towards each other, perhaps bring the feet together and the knees go out wide. Take a couple breaths here. Maybe bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. And can you sense the nervous system? What does that feel like? And we're going to take one more bridge. So as you're ready, bring the feet about hip distance apart. The arms come down by the sides. And as you're ready, use an inhale to lift the hips. Perhaps you walk the shoulders together. Perhaps the hands clasp. And telescope the chest towards the chin. But again, the chin is going away from the chest. And if you're super bendy, maybe you bring the bottom two ribs down a little bit. And bring the ribs towards the pelvis. And push down through the big toe mounds, encouraging the internal rotation in the hips. And check in with the breath. You need to come down. If this becomes too much, just come out a little early. No problem. And we'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Bring the arms overhead, release the shoulders, lift the heels, and bring the back down to the earth. Again, let's come into supine butterfly, butterfly on the back. So the feet come together, the knees go wide. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. And watch the breath as it rises and falls. Notice any pulses, any electricity in the body. breath can be a good indicator of what's going on in the nervous system. What information is there? All right, let's bring the knees back together. And if you have your blanket, now's the time to grab it. And what we're going to do is roll the blanket up. Um, and this can feel kind of big. Yeah. So let's be nice and gentle. If you've done this before and you've had the blanket under your heart, go ahead and put it at the roll size that feels good for you. So this is what I use, but a lot of times you're going to want the blanket to be about half that. Yeah. So what is that, like 2 inches or something? So roll up your blanket however feels comfortable. It doesn't need to be perfect. And then we're going to put it right below our shoulder blades. And the goal is to help it open through the heart. And we'll spend a couple breaths here. You'll notice pretty quickly if it feels too much. It shouldn't feel painful. Might bring the arms out to the side or down by your side. And the feet can be bent or the knees can be bent with the feet planted. And checking in with the breath, making sure that the breath can be nice and long, steady. And if it feels like the blanket is too much, just lower it or take it out and then just lift through the chest, yeah? Bringing the shoulder blades together, lifting the heart. Wherever you are, see if the back can melt a bit. Can you let the back melt, sink into the mat? Can you feel the breath in the back body? Breathing into the back of the heart space. And perhaps noticing where there's stillness in this posture. Check back in with the back body. Is there more tension that you can release? Can you let the body be held? And you might visualize a little golden ball right in the heart space, like this warm golden goo, melting the space, inviting some ease right around the heart. And watch in your mind's eye as that Globe begins to grow a little bit, expanding out all throughout the chest, inviting warmth and ease wherever it goes. Might travel throughout the whole body. Letting everything melt. And then as you're ready, if you if you have the roll rolled up all the way, the blanket rolled up all the way, then you might just be able to lift your hips, come onto the shoulders, just like you're in a bridge pose, and slide the blanket out. If that's not the case for you, then just roll over and let the spine, in fact, let's all roll onto our side. And take a second here to let the spine come back, let the spine neutralize. And then as you're ready, we'll push up and bring the blanket back. We're gonna come into legs up the wall. If you don't have a wall handy, then you can just do this pose in the middle of the room. But wherever you are, it might be nice to fold up your blanket a little bit so that you've got some cushion for your hips. So I've got my blanket folded like this. And then if you're gonna use a wall, then you'll bring the blanket right up to the wall as if the wall were right here. And then bring your hips onto the blanket and you're gonna come up the wall. And if you're just in the middle of the room, then that's fine too. We'll only be here a little while. I bring one hand to the belly again, one hand to the chest. Just doing a little inverting. And let the pelvis be nice and heavy here. And if you're not used to this, it might begin to feel a little funny in the feet and the legs, and that's okay. Um, but if it feels painful at all, or if the the head feels like there's a lot of blood rushing to it, then just bring the feet down and roll onto your side. Just come out of it a little early. But otherwise, if you're here, again, let the pelvis be heavy, let the back sink into the floor. And come back to the breath. You don't need to force anything with the breath at this point. But just watch it. And again, can you notice the moments of stillness between each breath? And then the moments of movement or activity. What does that feel like? And check in with the sensation. So, what do the feet feel like right now? What's the temperature of the feet compared to the temperature of the pelvis? And as you're ready, take your time. We're going to bring the knees down. You can hug them into the chest. And let's roll onto the side. If you're by the wall, then you might want to scoot a little ways away from the wall. And then we're gonna sit up. You may put yourself up. We're gonna sit up for our final rest or shavasana. So you can come to lay on your back. Sometimes I like to roll up the blanket and um, put it beneath the legs, beneath the knees. But wherever you are, if you're at home, don't skip this step. You've worked so hard. We'll just be here a couple minutes, and I'll take you out of it when it's time. Just letting the body sink into the ground. And I'm going to sit up so that I don't fall asleep. But you go ahead and stay in your shavasana. And while you're there, let the back of the body sink. Be nice and heavy, like that warm golden glue in the middle of the body sinks. And the front of the body sinks. And then in your mind's eye, can you see the outline of the body? Can you feel the space where the physical body meets the rest of the world? And what does that space feel like? And what does the space just outside that space feel like? And can you bring your awareness a little bit further out, a little bit further removed from the body, the physical body? And as you're ready, slowly bring the awareness back to the breath and back to the body. Go ahead and re-embody however you however you like, maybe wiggling fingers and toes. You may rock the head from side to side. And as you're ready, draw the knees in towards the chest. Maybe roll over to one side and take a moment there and let the body be still one more time. And then, as you're ready, take your time. Go ahead and push yourself up to a comfortable seat. Take your time. And once you get here, let's bring the arms out to the side, palms face down. Inhale, we lift the arms, flip the palms, and gather. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you're well. I hope you're taking care, and I hope that we can be together in person again soon. But thank you for bearing with me with technical difficulties and YouTube and all the fun things. And may our practice and the energy that we've cultivated be of benefit to all beings everywhere, so that all beings may be joyful and free. Thank you.